This is an interview with Mrs. Louise Waters of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's Oral History Project. I'm Dr. Horace Huntley. We're presently at the Institute. Today is February 7th, 1997. Okay, Ms. Waters, I want to thank you for coming out and talking to me today.
Yes, sir.
Let me just ask you that, were you born in Birmingham?
No, sir, I was born in Marion, Alabama.
Marion, Alabama.
My husband was born here. My two children were born here.
I see. Tell me a little about your parents, your mother and father. Did they were born in Marion?
Yes, sir. But my mother, we were brought up by a mother only.
I see.
My father left and went to Detroit. He wanted to say he gonna send it back, but he didn't get it back because he was out there.
Oh, he
So
died.
we didn't even get to go to Detroit. We were small children. So my mother was a real religious, hard-working WPA. And she used to, that's what we really used to have. She used to wear her father, which was my grandfather's boots, to work to take care of us.
What kind of work did she do?
Quilt and some like wrapping things around paper. I call it wrapping. But this was her daily job. And I saw her many things.
Did she work at home? Or
No, sir, she worked for the WPA.
Oh, for WPA.
Yes, sir. And then we went to school under, like I said, Langdon School. But now my mother was this kind of a lady. She really wanted us not to try to get a high school education. Now, some things I'm going to tell you about me further down.
Right. What was the name of the school that you started at? Did you start at school?
Lane Grammar.
Lane Grammar.
Yes, sir. Now that was right down on 18th Street, down from the fire station.
Oh, okay.
They tore that down.
Okay, that's over on the south side.
On the south side. All of this. In fact, I was brought from Marion, just a baby.
Oh, okay. So you just remember Birmingham. You
That's all.
probably remember Marion.
No, I don't really think about that, no, sir.
Okay.
So when my aunt, they are dead, now Matilda Wright, and hers was named Freeman Wright, he worked for Terminal Station. My other aunt was named Lyda Webber, and hers was named Avery Webber. He worked for Terminal Station. My father worked for Terminal Station. All of them worked there before my father left here. But now here's the part that keeps me pushing young people. We lived in a 3-room house, 3 families. Aunt Matilda and Uncle Freeman, Wright Jr., they had the front room. Aunt Lyda and Uncle Webber had one side of the house. My mother had, you don't know, these big iron beds. She had my sister B, she had our store, I said, Lola the baby, and then and my brother slept at the foot, all in one bed.
In one bed.
Yes, sir.
So you had 2 sisters and a brother.
Yes, sir. But now the one that was born before I know anything about, I don't know if that brother's name was Charlie May. But these are the 3 that still live.
Oh, that's it.
And we stayed with my aunt, like I said, my 2 aunts and their husbands, my 2 uncles. But they were so nice to, but guess what? We didn't get from one nickel. That's all. They give you a biscuit and put a piece of meat in there, and the children made fun, so we did it up before we got to school. All right, now.
This is in the 20s, the 30s.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In other words, see, I was born November 27, 1922. So this was way back.
Right.
And
So then your mother, then she worked every day.
And the other 2 sisters would see about us, and then when she come home, she'd be there. And she'd be sick a lot of times, but she still had to go. Yes, sir.
What do you remember about your school, Lane? Do you remember your days at Lane?
Yes, sir. I remember my days at Lane. My first grade teacher was Mrs. Mitchell, which you can see. My second grade teacher was Mrs. Coleman Williams. She used to then we used to call them, I can say it now. One was real light, and Miss other one was real But both of these things, they were our teachers. Then I had a teacher as I got older, and all these are the teachers that was then. Our teacher when I was real small. And this was the very first teacher that taught me my ABC, which I had to learn from Mama, at Lady Grammar School.
Lady Grammar School.
Yes, sir. And then next, as I got older, I had a teacher to teach me named Mrs. Armstead, probably not new, Mr. R.L. Jackson, Mr. Robert Jones, Mr. Williams, and remind you that Professor W.D. Johnson was my principal even at Lane. And then we only went to Park.
Right.
Then Mr. Woods was our principal. But all of this time that I tell you about, we only had one, I had one dress, one pair of shoes. All of us, all my sisters and my brother too, because my mother was doing the mission to do. But she used to teach us one thing, and I'll never forget it. You are somebody. And we washed that dress, you know, when no gas then, hang it then in the dry, then you iron it, but you can still clean.
Now tell me about growing up in, what community did you live in? Did you live in
Southside, what you call with a bear match.
Oh, you lived in Bear Match?
That's right. I lived in 2
What was Bear Match?
on 25th Street and Avenue C, going on up, you left there, what you call now Southtown Project.
Right.
That was Bear Match. Avenue D was Bear Match. Because the reason they called it Bear Match, they were mean, some of the kids were so mean. Even come from school, being people, so.
Is that right?
But I can never forget this address where I live. It's not there now. 208 South 25th Street.
208 South 25th Street.
Yes, sir. And it was a lady that had a grocery store. The Demands. I was very small. And she knew my mother was trying to do what she could for her 3 daughters and her son. And she called me up there and asked my mother first, put me up in a chair and put an apron on me, and I washed the dishes and what they had left to eat, I bring it home. See, the store was right across the street from 208 South 25th Street. Willie McLean had the drugstore after this, but before that, Mr. Frank, he had this. And they always helped my mother.
Frank Leonard was white.
Oh, Miss Maggie Jones and them, they were white. And they give me 50 cents. And I kept bringing the food, what was there, and give my mother 50 cents.
So you, in fact, had to help.
Yes, sir. All the way through, even before I married.
After you left Lane, where did you go to school?
I went to
Went to Park.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about Park?
Oh, I remember I had a blue uniform on, one pair of shoes. I had to still wash that one uniform, but she did this way. And the lady that made that dress for me was named Miss Mamie. She was a black lady. And she told my mother, said, I'm not going to charge you anything. She died. But the most thing I really remember about Park is when I got a chance to ride what we call the special.
Ride the special.
Yes, sir.
Were you excited about riding?
Very excited because they were had to work. And some days, would you believe this? I walked from Park High School to 208 South 25th Street.
That's quite a walk.
Yes, sir, it is. I walk on up.
Well, what do you remember about any racial problems that you may have had as you were growing up? Did you ever encounter any race problems?
Yes, sir. Because they always did, even though I can remember that is from Mr. Leonard, that they were nice. But you still, if you got to wash those dishes, that was it. They had a grocery store. You go behind the counter. If they will give you something like you said, what was left over, you didn't eat nothing there.
Couldn't eat it there?
No, sir. Oh, I can remember that from being a lady after I got married. I used to have to knock on the bag door, eat down there on the bag punch. And Richard has, it didn't get started back there like we don't want out when it first opened out. This has always been out. Because actually, when I would be, after I got grown, I still had to work hard. Now husband was very sweet to me. But like I said, he was born here, but his parents didn't give him the education that they should have. And mom decided after I married him, that's when he was sweet husband. And he didn't do what should be like he should. There could like this pressing people. Read something, but let it be something out there. Yes, sir. But I would be going to try to work. And then, you know, something like the $6.
$6?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. When I called, see, I didn't say, yeah.
As you walk through the
Yes,
community.
you couldn't walk through when they say, yeah, you got to run back. So you done got off the bus.
That's it. So they would actually just
Trying to make it go
harass
right.
you any way that.
Yes, sir, any way they could, yes, sir.
Were these neighbors, people that you knew?
No, sir, these was the white people in the neighborhood that just didn't like black people.
Oh,
I remember one of this cute little white baby, and he asked me, are you a neighbor?
that's what the baby asked.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
And then I nursed her because I didn't have any other choice.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I was brought up in a real poor family, but like I said, my mother always told me, you still are. So,
So after you finished high school,
yes, sir.
then what did you do right after high school?
At high school, I got ready then. I started working at St. Vincent Hospital. I was a nurse there. And I was working in operating, washing doctors' issues. The same thing as a regular nurse.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed there until I got ready to try nursing. And I was encouraged by one of the sisters. She said, you got good potential. She said, go with nursing.
And you did.
Yes, sir.
Where did you go? Which school did you go?
I went to Warwick as a nurse's aide, which is South Carolina, but now it's Hill South.
Right.
But now, would you believe when I went to school, I'm still poor. I'm just still struggling. I knew there was Mary Moon, your name had Louise.
Right.
Why? I went over here where Thomas School is now, but they call it good education center.
Right.
And I was,
First
yes, sir. I was paid to get nursed.
Oh,
Yes, sir. She knew me, that's why Louise was. She told me that, Lord. And when I got in school and I started to work, they paid this like saying I started to study. When I went to Montgomery, I was married at the end of I couldn't stay first time.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Had stayed for the first time.
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's and then you went to work at Health South.
I
You were already there.
Yes, I was already there. And see, after that, I was trying to get in academia, but I didn't stay as long as I had a desire. I was in Jefferson State at night and worked school at South Carolina in the daytime.
So that's when you got your LPN.
Yes, sir. And from being there at South Carolina, which is Health South Carolina.
Yes, right.
Yes, sir.
So during this time, were you active? Were you active in any parts of the movement before the Alabama Christian movement got started? Were you a registered voter?
Yes, sir. I was a registered voter, and then I grew around trying to get up. I don't want to let you go there. I'm a deputy registrar now.
Oh, you are deputy registrar?
Yes, sir. And I got this through Mr. Hilliard. I don't know what to do there. And I don't know if you...
Earl Hilliard?
Sir.
Earl Hilliard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I did do this. Both times that Mayor Harrington ran to mayor, I volunteered and helped at the campaign. And I was the one that you probably went through with. You were the right one, baby.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that's you. That was from you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. I was going to say that. And she tried to get me at the funeral. But what I like to help people. I like to volunteer. That's why I'm at the Red Cross. This is my 7th year. I am a 5-year opinion. That's why you don't see all of that.
Yeah, that's pretty good to see it. But when did you get involved with the movement?
When they first organized the choir, And Mr. Henry, Lincoln Hughes, was the president. And I was still a nurseryman at South Highland. I get off work, run in, jump in another dress, and come here. And my husband, now he never attended, but he was so nice by getting me there. And then he'd get me home.
You would drive you there and then come back and pick you up?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, what was it, you went to the mass meetings?
Yes, sir.
How would you describe a mass meeting? What was it like?
Our mass meeting was like this. You were involved, you were fully committed, you were dedicated, and you were trying to prove to our people that we got to move forward. Don't look back. Don't lean too far to the right, not to the left, but keep your eyes on the potential that you want. And what did you want? Freedom. I used to sing this song in the movie choir, The Dogs Can't Stop Us. I used to sing it. You remember?
That's right.
The cops can't stop. In the midnight hour and in the morning too. I want my freedom. What about you? You and you. And then you holler, we want freedom and reward it right now.
Can you sing a little bit?
Yes, sir. We want freedom and we want it now. We want freedom and we want it now. The dogs can't stop us. Oh no, no, the cops can't stop us. No, 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 in the morning, in the midnight too. I want my freedom, tell me what about you. We want freedom, freedom, freedom. Yes, we want freedom and we want it now.
And that would just get people
Yes, sir.
stirred up, right?
Dr. King, Dr. Shuttlesworth, Dr. Adam, Reverend, the one I done went on, he's sick now. You know, he's the vice president. You know, I can't stand
I know
it. He's ill right now.
Yeah, I've talked with him.
So you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
I think
So
right
that's
now.
all. And I went, my husband was sweet enough to let me go to Reverend Shuttlesworth Church.
It's all right.
Yes, sir.
Well, you also participated in demonstration.
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
Now this was really, you had to really be what I would call saved. Because you don't, anything could happen. You could lose your life. Because my husband said, you'll keep running them folks. Then one you did, I said, well, darling, if it's where I go, somebody got to stand in. And I still believe that, Dr. Somebody got to stand, but really, not being violent,
Right.
but trusting, believing, holding on to what you want, having faith, believing that what you're looking for, what you're fighting for, not with the gun, not with a knife, that God is not our fight in the first place. And since we know that it is His fight, He'll take us through. So this was my conviction, and it still is, even at 74. I do believe if we would stop hating one another and join hands and look up and keep our eyes on what is there. What's there for you? A bright future. Nobody's going to hand it to you, Dr. Honey, but you got to reach out.
Yeah, good job.
Yes, sir. And then when you reach out, stand tall and let the whole world know. You don't need a sign on your back. I just brought this to let you know that I am, a volunteer for the Red Cross.
Right.
Let somebody see that you're real in what you're doing. I'm not looking for popularity. I'm not looking for a big name and bright lights, but I want somebody to say this about me. It didn't matter to me, and I said this for no apology, but they were red, yellow, black, or white, or polka dot. As I pass this way, I want somebody to know the smile you wear is worth more than these rings I have on. The work you do. The elevator may be crowded when you say, come on, Miss Ward, you get on the elevator. Maybe I think, I'm talking in life of success. If I miss that elevator, Dr. Hunter, I can always get the stairs and still reach my potential. What is my potential? To help those that are lost, to help those that really don't think that we shall overcome, and we will overcome. How? Persevere Don't give up. Look up. Don't look down. Stand tall. Don't look back. Reach out and say, I am somebody. And someday we'll come together with love, with unity, and God will see us safely through.
That's eloquent. But tell me about the demonstrations that you participated in. How did the demonstration, for people that, younger people who never saw a demonstration and really don't know about, how would you explain it to them?
I tell you this first. You got to want to sacrifice, because this is what it's all about. I remember right in the 60s, Baptist Church, when the officers threw this water on Dr. Shettyworth and he rolled back down the red.
Right.
I remember marching when we would get together and he'd say, and he said, you should have said with good English, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around.
How did that go? Did you sing that?
Yes, sir. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. No, turn me round. Oh, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walk. I'm gonna keep on a talking. I'm walking up to freedom land. I ain't gonna let gonna turn me round. No, turn me round. No, turn me round. Ain't gonna let gonna turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walk. Yes, keep on a talking. Yes, walking on to freedom land. Ain't gonna let segregation. Yes, turn me round. No, turn me round. No, turn me round. Ain't gonna let the segregation turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, yes, keep on a talking. I'm walking up to freedom. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Do you remember the first demonstration that you participated in?
Yes, sir. The very first demonstration I participated in.
Did you come from 16th Street?
Yes, sir. I came from 16th Street. And I remember, now I didn't go here, but every march that they had that I could get in, I was right there. And we'd be holding hands, and then when they'd be putting them in there, and you know what they call it then, the paddyway.
Right.
I'd say, Lord, if you took care of the 3 Hebrew boys, you took care of them. Even when.
But you were never arrested.
I was never arrested, but I always marched.
Yeah. Tell me about the first time that you marched. What did you feel like? How was that feeling?
Well, at first, Satan had me with a little fear. And then the more we kept saying he won't let nobody turn me around, then I thought about it. If Jesus gave his life for me, I should always remember others first, Jesus first, others next, and of course we last. What better way could I show love than to let someone know I came forth to make it free? Red, yellow, black, and white. See, they just keep talking about when you march. It just wasn't for the black. It was for human rights. And that's what we're still striving for. Human rights. So after I got in the march, I look forward to it. I never forget that Easter Sunday that I marched. Reverend, he's dead now. He lived in Detroit. Little consecrated woman, I met her a little girl. And I was a girl myself, a young lady, but I was older than her. She walked to her mother, said, let me go in this wars. I took her hand. We walked from 26th Street down to the city jail. And we kneeled on the ground. And he said, everybody just pray. Then a drop water come out. And I just said, Lord, I surrender my life to you. And I'm still trying to do that.
So the water would not come out.
No, sir, not a drop.
Mm.
And he kept turning this way, turning that way. But see, the Lord just wanted us to stay. And I'm still standing on his promise.
Yeah, that's great. Tell me about the choir, the organization, because I know that you were a member of that
Yes, so
choir.
when you first organized, the first time that this choir was organized, the musician was the old dead. It's on Phoebe Palmer, Freddie Palmer.
Very popular.
Then Reverend came in. Then Sneed was there.
Yeah. Sneed, is he dead?
He's there too. Then, now, Carlton came in much later. But these are the original singers.
Right.
And our very first president was Lincoln.
Lincoln?
Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
First president.
First president.
And he always would tell us, stay together regardless. In love. So when I first went there and I got with them, they made pictures. I don't know if they still have mine. But we used to meet from different churches. Reverend Gardner, that was his name.
Right.
And when I got there, I'm saying, it's like I'm trying to say now, Tim. And I would be there on time. I would just sing till, looked like heaven went on up. And when you looked out at the faces, the light looked like they were pulling in room to come. And the white was looked like saying you again. But I was determined. And I'm still determined. We're not going to compete if we really think about it. Because see, we have turned from what we were taught, what you probably, I know, I would say about what you're still teaching. And now we turn on each other. Hate.
Right.
When it doesn't take but just a little love. As I tell them all the time, if you throw the perfume up, a little drop will hit me because when you go up, you know where it's going to fall. So it's the same thing about love.
Why did you decide to get involved in the movement?
I kept hearing it on the radio, seeing different people going, I'm going to the movie, I'm going to the movie. And I said to my husband one night, I said, I want to join that Christian movement. See, it wasn't what they called it now. Southeast Union. SCFC was the Alabama Christian Union. He said, you know what it was? I said, I want to join that Christian Union. He said, how would you know what? I said, I feel like, I said, I've got 2 years, I had 2 songs. I lost one. I said, if I never live to see it come to pass, I said, I've got to get back here. I said, there are other children here. I said, let the young people know that we believe what we have been taught, even on the fireside, that we are somebody. So I got so interested in it. I went the first time and then, I was just so excited. I look forward to it. I rush and get off and I tell my speaker out. He put me right there. We'll meet here, we'll meet there. You know, we used to be there at our American, the second factory. You don't remember that? I tell you.
And where was this church? On Southside?
So, no, his church was Rowan, Bishop Rowan.
Bishop Rowan.
You know, his daughter used to sing with us.
Oh,
She sure did. Every church would open with a week ago, and I was there.
You was there every time the church door opened?
Yes, sir. I never missed. Rain, shine.
Did you ever have any problems on your job as a result of your involvement in the
Would
movement?
you believe this? I don't know why nobody ever reported me.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So,
But if it had been, Dr. Honey, the way I felt then, and I still feel that way, it wouldn't help me out. Because I felt like this was what the Lord wanted.
this is a calling.
Yes, sir. And if it meant that I had to give up somehow, they couldn't hear it.
Were any of your other relatives involved in the movement?
Yeah, my brother,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I said, my brother, he's retired from the post office, retired from the Navy. He don't got discharged, out of discharge. My husband got on discharge from nobody but him. I guess you always got one, just one. Do what again, why again?
Right.
He
Well,
said,
what did your family say about your involvement?
he said, You know, I tell you, this for 3 waters long, go by my name, Louise Hood water. And it wasn't long, because she still going, and that's still true. I don't care when I'm cold, if something really everything, he's going to knock, man. Man's quiet out and movement. I still get there, some way, somehow, I guess there. It's there. I just feel like I'm fully committed to dedicated, and this is what the Lord wants me to do.
If you had a way to do it and you could direct the movement, would there be anything that you would change about the movement? The way that it was at that time?
When it first started, no, I wouldn't change anything about it. Because I'll say it like this, Dr. King planted a seed there. And that, I know you a Christian, I am too. We on the waters, but we God gives the increase. I wouldn't do anything when it was first started. Now that may be some things I just like, I'm wondering what happened to the old Alabama Christian movement. I really am. Because at this time, it seemed like to me, unity was really there. And I'm wondering if somewhere down the line, we got mixed up on it, what it really meant. It meant just what it said, non-tolerance. It meant love. It meant full commitment. Reaching out. You know, you've heard it said, reach out to treat someone. And that's why I take this song and I quote it. I still feel like Dr. Really going on. Now that's where I feel. And I'm wondering if those, and I do believe this, that all of those that started when they first started, I think they feel the same way. They still feel like going on. I don't see anything that I can change. I would stand there. If it meant going to jail, as old as I am, I never been in jail in my life. I would go. So I wouldn't make any change.
So you were committed to that?
Yes, sir.
Whatever it took, you were ready to
I'm right today, and I'm 74. If it would take right now to let our young people see that they are somebody, that violence will win, violence will do it, and if it means I have to stand up there and be a real role model and stand, just like Miss Rosa Parks, if I have to stand up in jail and let them know you are somebody, but my mother used to use the word, you got to get it in your noggin, your head. And once you get it, they may take my life, they may take these clothes, but guess what? You can't take Jesus. And you can't take my commitment. Because if I'm falling, I would still say, I want to help somebody. Does my parents going to say? Knowing, I won't say being, knowing my living will not be in vain.
You were at the church today that Reverend Shuttlesworth had the encounter with the water hose.
Yes, sir. I was right there, standing on the ground, baby. Right out there in front of me.
How did that happen? What happened?
If I'm correct, and I'm more than sure that he was making a speech. And he said, get him down, get him down. And he threw the water, but he was still fully committed, dedicated, and holding on.
So,
That's when I said I wouldn't change anything. Not even when he bought his house.
Right. Do you remember the day that the church was bombed and the little girls were killed?
Yes, sir. I was getting ready to go to Sunday school. Yes, sir.
What do you remember about that day?
I remember that day, Mr. McNair used to be my midway. Mr. Wesley told me, then he told I do something. And I could just see, here's somebody reaching out, taking the children to right, because you don't even know. You got to study to show yourself approved of work for God, rightly dividing what you find holy. So here's somebody trying to do right, and yet, as of now, as I say all the time, Satan doesn't take a coffee break, Satan doesn't take a vacation, and here's somebody, I'm not bothering anybody. I'm trying to learn more and more. What can I do? Where can I be counted? And here's somebody so mean and so possessed with demons and the devil that they go to the child's life. So that's when I said, I wouldn't change nothing. It's like when you talk to us at Dempsey Day School, don't change anything what you're doing. Give us more of it. It all not going to fall on stony hard like the Bible's on the stony ground. Somebody's going to profit by it. And then they're going to do what someone said, pass it on. I would tell you, I was right.
Did you ever participate in any demonstrations outside of Birmingham?
I marched with them on our way from the school in Birmingham. He marched when we got to British Church.
Did you march on the Selma to Montgomery march?
I started there, but I couldn't make it. One of those kids was 6 when I was going. That's when I say I still feel like the one. Yes, sir.
So it's still in you.
Yes, sir. Even at 74.
If you had to just make a statement to young people today about the movement, what would you say to them to encourage them?
I would say this to them. First, I tell them, I said, now, I'm not as young as you, but I have been. And if you want to reach your goal, stop, look, listen, and think. What can I do to make society better? I'm just one, but where can I fit in? Then I tell them, get some in your noggin. Then, first of all, get Jesus in your life. And then you'll have room enough to spread the love. It could take a whole lot, just a little bit. And let somebody know, oh yes, I am somebody. And I'm willing to stand up and be counted as one. If they start to move today, why not make yourself a real one? The choice is yours. We can't make it, but think about it. What would be your choice? I tell you that because I believe it.
That's why you've been very helpful. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we end this?
Yes, sir, I want to say this. I'm a firm believer in following Jesus as well as this political theater. And I did watch when Louise kept trying to get our American in. I was right beside him. We was up right behind him every time he went to go. And this is the main thing. Miss Louise Terry, she's out of life. She's retired. Teacher at the middle from Innocent. She's taking years to be an attorney. She's the counselor over our nations and over all of the nations. I want that. Sometimes I'm asked to speak, and this is what I leave with them. Age has no boundary. Get up, stand up, look up, and be counted. Do the best that you can, while you can. And if the time comes when you can't, you can say, I didn't reach perfection, but I tried. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. You've been very helpful.
Thank you. Keep in your prayers. And if ever I can be a little help to the young people, you need me. You have my permission, and I'll be happy. I hope I have said something to somebody.
You certainly have. You said an awful lot.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.